Yeah, how come we didn't get the day off?
I know, I thought you guys were closed. I said, yeah, too, like, aren't you guys closed Veterans Day?
What's the
Who's
public,
closed on Veterans Day?
what is, which public hearing is that one?
Nobody knows.
Oh, okay. We're unaware of it.
It's not recognized.
Yeah, they said there wasn't vacant.
Oversized garage.
Plus with the.
Oversized garage.
Oh, an oversized garage.
Yeah.
Oh, last week they didn't know.
I see.
I don't think the trains will care.
No.
Oh, I mean, he's not busy, he's not waiting. Oh, this conversation with him is so bizarre. No.
Good evening. We had a little meeting we had to have. All's good. Hi, how you doing? How you doing? Hi, how are you? Okay, well, you ready? Okay, we have, first off, we're gonna start off by my calling to order of 5:15 PM. Public hearing. May I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Kupta,
Here.
Mr. Hawk,
Present.
Mr. Westbrook,
Here.
Mr. Har was absent.
Yes. All right, so we have a proposed public hearing on electric vehicle charging station and ancillary equipment. Do we have any comments?
You do have a few questions? Okay.
Sure.
I just had a few questions about the electric charging station. Number one, when we do, let's assume that we have an electric charging station. Does this set of vehicles only Tesla vehicles? Is it for all the electric vehicles that might be potentially in the area? That was question number one. I don't know if somebody knows the answer.
Yeah. First of all, how about if you say your name?
Oh, yes, I'm Sylvia Hannikin, Hampton Drive, Macedonia.
Okay, Sylvia, because this is being recorded. It's been a very educational process going through this with Tesla. And in the back, we have a representative and Drew from Tesla.
Mhm.
And perhaps Drew, you could come down here and have a seat in his chair and maybe answer Sylvia's question.
Sure. Can I speak into a mic at all? Okay. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. The basic answer to your question is that these stations will only be available for use for Tesla. That's the current situation. I think there are two different types of charging technologies. One are the level 2 technologies. Those are slower charging, and there's a universal standard for those. Those are more common. If you've seen a charging station, it's probably one of those.
Yes, I've seen them, actually, there are some here.
Right, so that technology is available. All the electric vehicle manufacturers make sure that their cars can use that technology, so that's universal. When it comes to what we call level 3 technologies, which basically just means faster, more powerful technologies, there is not a standard yet. And so Tesla's, if we use these level 2 chargers, it would take 8 to 10 hours to charge our car. And so this technology allows us to charge much faster, more like 30 minutes, but currently only Teslas can use it.
Okay, so this is a Tesla only. Next question is I'm assuming there's going to be some kind of landscaping around it or some kind of a process. Is that correct? Am I making the correct assumption? Where it wouldn't be visible, but it'd be nice enough looking.
One of the things that we're dealing with is a part of that parking lot that's very low, Sylvia. So actually, as you're driving by right now, if there's a car parked there, you can almost can't even see it. all right, because the level there of the parking lot is so low. I have some engineering comments that we're gonna go over in tonight's meeting that will address that.
Okay.
So,
Okay, well, that was my second question. Third question is, if a decision would be made, say that this particular station was better suited to another location after you've had experience with it, how would the removal occur? And, you know, would there be kind of a situation in which you would remove the equipment and everything would be put back to a normal condition? Is that part of the contract?
Yes, so we have an agreement with the property owner, which is DDR.
Okay, yes.
And the agreement itself, it basically says what you just said. It is something like, well, when we leave, we will take out all our equipment and make it as good or better as it was before we arrived.
I see. Okay. Well, those were the three areas that I thought needed to be clarified, and they are, so I don't have any other questions.
all right, any other questions? Okay.
Yeah, hey, Doc, how long does it go on a car when it gets charged?
About 30 minutes to 45 minutes, just about enough time to eat over at the Outback.
How long will it go after a full charge?
Oh, how long will it go? I thought he
You
said.
go from McDonald's to Burger King. That's
No,
why that car when you charge it.
Yeah,
About 300 miles.
300 miles.
300 miles?
You wanna buy one,
And you
Mike?
got- Oh, no, I don't have a bunch of cars to give me for nothing.
Well, you'd have this one if they gave it to you for nothing.
I don't have that.
It's like a status symbol. It's a very, very, I just read an article, on it today, and here's another one that came out now talking about all the red dots across the country for Tesla charging stations. And they said Tesla's the hot car right now. That's starting to show up in, wealthier neighborhoods, not like Macedonia, but wealthier neighborhoods in California, places like that. People are starting to buy these cars. They're becoming very popular.
Who makes that car?
Tesla. Tesla is Tesla. They are a company that makes that car. Now, he talked about stage
What's Tesla
2,
located at?
California. Right now.
Is that from Mexico?
No, our headquarters is in California and our manufacturing is also in California.
So it's made here in the US, if nothing else. And all these are leading up to other things that we have to cover in the planning meeting, but this is public hearing, so. Any other comments? No? Okay. Well then, with no further comments, I'd like to adjourn our public hearing. And I'm showing that it's 5:25.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Okay, now we're a little bit early, but we can go right into the meeting because I don't believe there's any other business tonight, is there?
Right.
All right, so let's just call the next meeting to order, which is the special planning commission meeting to talk about Tesla's supercharging station. And we have some comments on this. Now, you've seen some from our planner. We have our planner here this evening. Brian, do you have anything to add?
No, Mr. Mayor, I do not.
All right, and then we have some from our engineering department. Janelle, could you please read those?
I have reviewed the submitted plans on the November 4th Planning Commission agenda and offer the following. A right-of-way permit may be needed if the proposed electric service is fed from within the right-of-way. All landscaping areas disturbed must be restored to pre-developed or better condition. Provide first energy approvals and details regarding power service prior to city permitting process. Provide dimensions for the proposed concrete pad for the CT cabinet. Proposed wayfinding sign on the south side of State Route 82 may require relocation to the west due to the potential of obstructing visibility of existing lane usage. Traffic control signs currently located within the intersection. Provide the depth of granular backfill the typical conduit under soil trench detail, detail C. Provide the thickness of the concrete where the edge is not thickened on the concrete pad detail, detail A. Engineering approval is recommended. Above items can be resolved administratively prior to issuance of permits.
Brian, did you have any feelings about any plantings or anything in regards to?
Well, Mr. Mayor, I agree that that does sit down in evidence of that. You could see in the slope, but in the tree lawn between the sidewalk and the parking lot is fairly great. So it does already have a bit of a natural buffering, but I think the commission always looks to have landscaping installed with all the projects, particularly in the commons. Just we've sort of set and achieved a pretty high degree of architectural look and feel in that particular business district. So I think that some level of landscaping would be appropriate there. But I do believe what you said is the grade difference does certainly help with offsetting the appearance.
See, one of the things that I don't know if we want to really hide it, because if you're in a Tesla and it says your charging station is in Macedonia, it brings you here. And then with the GPS, you would look hopefully to find it quickly. So, anybody else have any questions or comments for this gentleman?
Is this on a, is this gonna be like on an island? Is there gonna be curbing all the way around the two stations? Two hookups?
No, there will be 6 charge posts and they're up against the curb. The current design has a transformer on an existing island.
Okay.
And then the emitter equipment will be taking up 2 parking spaces adjacent to the stalls that are charging stalls.
So, in other words, you'll be pulling up to the curb and there'll be something there that's like a box with the cord hanging on it. And then you take that cord and you could actually, just for the public knowledge, all right, perhaps we ought to talk about the electricity in that cord. There's gonna be a lot of voltage there so that you can supercharge these Tesla cars very quickly. What about safety?
Yeah, it's something we pay a lot of attention to, and the cords themselves are not active. There's not electricity in them until the communications cable in the cord connects with the car. So after you plug it in, there's a digital handshake that happens. And once that car is approved to be charging at that station, then the electricity starts to flow. So unless it's plugged in, there's no electricity in those cables. So in that sense, it is very safe. You could go up and put it in your mouth and all that stuff. Please don't do that. And why would you in the first place? But it is that safe. I mean, that's the kind of design that we make sure that.
Now, these phase 2 or stage 2 or whatever you reference, actually, we had a meeting with our service department and we were talking to an electric company. And I got confused in that they told me right now they're installing electric charging stations in front of McDonald's, Walmart, places like that.
Yeah.
So it's almost like something we'll have to consider even on municipal property, so that when people come to meetings here, that they might, and they need to charge, or work here, and they drive quite a ways. We have some people that live at the southern end of the county and work here. So they'll be driving a lot. Well, then we're probably gonna need charging stations. But they will be of that type, not the Tesla supercharging.
Right, I think especially for workplaces, level 2s, the slower ones, make a lot of sense because usually people will be here for a couple of hours charging. Our stations are specifically designed so that people can charge quickly and then move on. But if you're coming to work for the day, we really like to see workplaces install those level 2s for daily use.
All right, now, I'm sorry, go ahead.
But also too, on the level 2 charging stations for City Hall, McDonald's, are they gonna charge? They're gonna charge the city, they're gonna charge McDonald's to have them put in, plus hourly charging fees and everything else, where Tesla,
Or-
if you have one of their cars, is free.
Correct.
So there's no money changing hands there, there's no need for anybody to be there. There's no potential for explosions, fire, which are all associated with service stations
Mhm.
today. In fact, there are some unattended service stations that started popping up, and they ran into concerns because of fire. You can have a flash fire from the gasoline going in. Kevin, you have anything?
How much does you charge a car?
The charge to charge, that's an interesting name, isn't it? Nothing.
No charge?
Not for a Tesla.
Not for Tesla.
Not at this station. If you would fill up your car at home, you pay the normal, kilowatt hour rate at your house. And a lot of utilities actually are starting to think about electric vehicle charging rates because most people charge overnight, and overnight is when power is the cheapest. So utilities like that. So in any case, it's much cheaper than gas.
See, this is a learning experience for all of us because this is kind of like the future, Mike. So we have a lot to learn. And the fact that everybody's looking at this, including some of the Walmarts and McDonald's and places like that, shows that some of the most biggest corporate businesses feel that this is how it's gonna be in the future. So Macedonia would become one of these red dots. I don't see it on there yet.
It's
So
not on
hurry
there
up and get
specifically
it
yet,
on
that's
there.
right.
All right, but any other questions, comments for Drew?
Couple. So what's being requested here is at least 6, and I see there's also 2 potential future charging stations.
Yeah,
Are we looking at approving that as well, for an overall of potentially 8?
I would request that. I mean, we could come back for the 2 more, but we like to have it as easy as possible. Those 2 future will be in case things go really well and the stations are too busy and we need to add more. So
I
that's
guess
the idea.
at that point, maybe this is Dennis, maybe a question for you, you have to I assume, come back for like a permit to do that work. As long as they're going with what the plan
Right.
showed, they'd be okay with doing that. The other question is the transformer pad and I guess what is the other, what are you referring to this other big area about? What is-
Oh, that's the charging infrastructure.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what is that really looking like? I mean, we've got pictures of what the, photo of what the charging stations themselves. What is this?
Those are proposed to be fenced in. And I have a photo simulation if you want to see it.
Let's
I can
see.
bring it up.
It might be
Okay.
good to see.
Yeah, it would be a wood type, it would look like a wood fencing. I think it might be vinyl. So it's all weather and you don't have to come back and repaint it all the time. So I'll grab it.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
if I could just go back to that landscape issue, you bring up a good point. Certainly don't want to screen it so it's completely invisible to the road so folks can find it when they're coming in. I think the type of landscaping would be something small in style like boxwoods or small burning bushes, real low profile type shrubs. And I think the picture that they provided actually had some of those in one of their other stations.
And you're thinking of that behind the charge post between basically the main road and the charge post is what you were thinking?
If the slope will work.
Yeah, that was my concern.
So you could look
But,
at that
yeah.
image creatively.
Okay, too.
What about lighting there, Drew? Like overhead lights? Maybe there's one even there now, because usually around the parking lot they have.
Right. I want to say there is, because it's usually something that I look at, and additional lighting is not in our plans, which means we
Okay.
think it's sufficient, but,
There is some parking lot lighting out there in front of Hobby Lobby, you know, you can see
I think it's all
Just
night.
looking
a
at
couple
a
of
picture.
poles.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? People like that amaze me.
And you're pretty close to the street light. I have a feeling it's probably decently lit out there. It may not be great near the edge of the parking lot, but I don't remember that parking lot being particularly dark or
No.
anything.
No.
Probably it's probably either a half to a full foot candle at the edge,
Kinda cycle
which is
through these if
probably
you
just
want.
fine.
See the wood enclosure.
Come on
Bring it
over.
to you. That might be the best.
So that's what'd you call that?
That's the charging infrastructure in there, and the transformers off to the right.
So is there a box behind that fence?
Yeah, there are,
Or is it enclosed? If it's enclosed, why can't you just make it brick?
what do you mean?
Instead
So
of
you
having-
have a-
instead of having the wood structure.
Yeah, because
Oh.
everything there is brick.
Mm-hmm.
Typically for like our trash enclosures and stuff, even things like that, we
Yes.
ask them to match the building with the brick. That's the thing I kind of picture being closest to this. Maybe it has the doors or the gates or whatever, it could be something
Trash
else.
enclosure.
But a trash enclosure you see on the back of a lot of these buildings, whether it's an extension of the building or it's a standalone, will
Mhm.
usually be brick to match the buildings around it.
Trying to think what else is around, but yeah, I think that's certainly maybe something that we should go back and
Well,
forth on.
and it doesn't have to be actual brick,
Right.
because there's so many things today that look just like brick.
Right.
But make it look like the brick of the buildings that are in that shopping center.
Mhm.
Yeah, and those are actually concrete masonry units that are through the wall, so you could use 8-inch thick ones. They have the color on both sides and they match the plastic exactly.
Okay, yeah, that sounds fine.
Okay, anything else? Seven?
I guess, I'm sorry, the transformer pad, what's sitting on that? Is a box, you know?
Yep, it's, your basic, I would think it's gonna be a 500 kVA transformer, so it's, you know, the same green utility equipment you would see just around any other building. It's just stock, I mean, this is, to the utility, this is no different than anything else. This is really an unremarkable project. We're not anywhere we do these because the electric part is the same for them.
Just something else they're supplying. power.
Exactly right, yep.
Oh, good. I think Rita said even at the time when you come back that she doesn't have a problem with it. If there's no other comments or statements, do I have a motion regarding?
Well, I mean, I could see, we're looking for plan approval here, I guess, is that what we're?
Yes.
Um, Yeah, I would think, in my mind, I'd like to see these things be enclosed with some kind of brick, kind of like the trash enclosures around here. To make that a condition of it. Like you to investigate looking into some low landscaping. Are you planning any signage with this at all either?
There was, and there was a note, the engineering note on the signage, and that's the kind of thing, honestly, we don't really get too hung up on. I mean, if it worked, that's great, and if it doesn't work and we have no signs, it's still okay. So I'm fine having that kind of be a.
I guess if you did decide you wanted to come back with some signs, probably something you probably have to come back here for.
Like wayfinding signs, like putting, what kind of signs do you mean? I mean, we'll have signs that will be in the parking space themselves that say.
Okay, that's kind of covered here,
Okay.
and I'm assuming that's gonna say something like Tesla charging.
Exactly
station.
right, yep.
Like handicap parking?
Yeah, most people post with a small sign. But I mean, yeah, if you were looking at some wayfinding, or you wanna stick something out, you know, outside the right of way, but up near the road or something like that, that's something that we would have to approve.
All right, so what we have is we have brick enclosure, we have that it will be, you can look at some kind of low shrubbery if it'll work there according to prior. Anything else in that motion? Are you making a motion?
Sure.
Okay.
Approval of those two contingencies. So I think that covers it.
So my understanding, right, any signs basically not at the parking stalls, you'd wanna have us come back here for approval?
Is there a sign on that enclosure?
Yeah, is there any, proposed anything on that?
No. No.
I guess like low wayfinding in the parking lot, is that something that we would need to see too, or just, out front type signs?
Well, usually when we
I know we usually
When we
factor-
okay a project, that would be for the developer, okay? He might wanna do something in the future with putting a directional sign there instead of Tesla. Tesla wants their supercharging station.
Yeah.
Developer later. What are your thoughts on that?
Right now, we don't have any intention of putting any wayfinding signs.
Okay.
You know,
And if you could please tell me your name
Yeah.
for the minutes.
Sure, Brian Reese, I'm with DDR.
Okay.
Yeah, we have no intentions of, using wayfinders yet. If that's something that in the future we need, we'll address at that time. Right now, I would say we're not brand new.
Well, you're not gonna, it's not like you're gonna have 100 cars there the first day it's up,
Right.
which you would like.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Never know.
you never know.
Hey,
Mike
we
would
just
let me
did
get
one
one.
in Glen Allen, Virginia, and we had like over 35 of our owners show up in their cars for the ribbon cutting. They were excited. Yeah.
That's good,
So-
good stuff. All right, we have a motion on the floor, conditional. All right, Bill?
Second?
Any other discussion?
I think those things could both be reviewed administratively, both those conditions.
Okay,
Come back with those.
okay. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Drew, good luck to you, thank you for choosing Macedonia.
Appreciate it.
I look forward to us being a red dot,
Yeah.
okay?
Yep. We'll be in touch, and I'll work with these guys back here to make sure we do everything right.
Good.
Thank
you.
you
All
very
right.
much. Appreciate it.
We have no further business for this evening, so do I have a motion to adjourn?
So move. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. Have a great night.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your comments.
Okay. Don't forget, if you're ever in this neighborhood with one, the mayor'd like to go full circle. I've been in every kind of car there was.
I mean, the worst case, it's for the open. We're not here with one of those.
Cool. All right.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay. So, we need to sign. And you're not there with the trustee pen.
I think we only had, a couple of comments on our plans.